This is the house I lived in till I got incarcerated in 2012. I mean 2002. My mom had applied for housing years ago, and she was insisting on getting a townhouse. I'm pretty sure a couple of times they offered her a place, but she refused them because all she wanted was a townhouse, and this was a 3-bedroom situation. So this is actually the first block I ever actually lived on, like first ends, you know what I mean, as you want to say. My mother's illness had taken its toll, like to the point that, you know, she started drinking to compound the problem too. So running the household was literally all on me, aside from the rent, which she kind of still took care of. But for the rest, everything else was all on me, you know what I mean? My father, again, he didn't help. He would just, every other weekend, he would just come pick up my siblings, my brother and sister. After high school, when like most high school graduates, I wanted to go to college, but I couldn't because, you know, my household needed me. I had to work to make ends meet. So going to college was really out of the question. Like, you know, my siblings were like 8, 9 at that time. So, you know, yeah, I left my job at McDonald's at that point because, I mean, like I said, I needed something to pay more. So my girlfriend, my high school girl, she found a job at a restaurant and told me to go apply as well. And it just so happened I got the job there as a prep manager. That was cool. Less than a year after, she got pregnant. My daughter was born on New Year's Day, 2001. And so now, you know, my responsibility kind of doubled with me looking after my household, and where my daughter was living too, I had to make sure she was good too. So I had a lot on my plate. My mom did not help the situation because one day she showed up at my sibling's school drunk. So children's aides basically started a file on us, so I had to deal with that too. And with her mental health declining, again, like I said, she took care of the rent, but there was times where we nearly got evicted because of her state of mind. But for the most part, you know, we made the best of the situation, and it was just all on me. Everything was all on me at that point. But this is where I was at till I got incarcerated. I went to jail for murder. You know. Now Teasdale's a place where some of my schoolmates went. You know, so I frequented it because it was right next to the basketball court. And back then we used to play a lot of ball. You know. Yeah, in August 2002, my daughter was 18 months. My household was in disarray. You know, it wasn't a good situation with my mom. My mom's still going through it. My dad would come get my siblings every other weekend, and we didn't get no assistance from her at all. So, to be quite honest, I had a lot on my plate. You know, so that kind of affected my judgment into situations. On the 11th of April, one of the youths from the ends from Teasdale came up to me and told me how he got jumped by some folks, by some people, you know. So with that being said, we kind of, you know, the few mans that lived in the end, we said, yo, you know what? Like, I didn't live on the ends. I lived in Palmer Court then, but I always stayed hanging here because this is where most of my homies are, you know. So we was like on some military movements for the next couple of days. So on the 13th, which was a Tuesday of August, a couple of days after the little homie got jumped, we were chilling by the basketball court, and like I said, we're moving a little more militant with him being jumped, you know. So I seen a man. I seen somebody who didn't look familiar. So I went up to him. I'm like, yo, you know what I mean? You know somebody here? And he's like, he didn't want to answer me. He wasn't really paying. He ignored me. And I noticed he had a liquor bottle in his hand. So I went to go reach for the liquor bottle to get his attention. And he got up and said, yeah, he's going to leave. So he walked away. I went back to the basketball court. Like 2 minutes after, I seen him again, and I'm like, yo. I went up to him and I'm like, yo, fam, didn't I tell you to boogie? The man's like, ignoring me. So he had this little chain on, this little gold chain, so I just popped the chain. And then he took off. He took off running towards the station, Victoria Park Station. You know? I went back, you know, shooting the hoops, chilling with a couple of the homies, and at that point there was like a bunch of children, just like you see right now. There was a lot more people back then. A bunch of children, you know, around. So it was about 15, 20 minutes later. I seen one of the girls running towards from the direction of VP Station. She was running. She ran straight to the basketball court and was like, yo, there's a bunch of men coming with beer bottles in their hand, ray-tay-tay. So with people hearing this, people got frantic. The little kids, some of the little kids and the girls started running inside because they knew something was about to go down. So, I mean, I myself, I could have left too, but I knew because it was my issue, my beef. So I was like, I can't really leave. I gotta stay. So I stayed, and I walked up to right here where by the tree is, a little past it, and somebody came up to me out of that group. It was just like a bunch of dudes came, walked up to me, and he was drinking a beer, but he didn't say nothing to me at all. You know, during the incident, the man did not say a word to me, but he was drinking. And then the guy that got his chain popped, he was like 10 feet away from me, and my homie was standing in front of him too. You know, like I said, it was just a couple of the homies on the ends at that point. Like I said, it was mostly children and women, and they all hightailed it inside because they knew it was about to go down. So the dude that got his chain popped, who was like 10 feet away from me, and his homie was like right in front of me, and he was like, oh, you don't want no problem. I'm like, hold up, how you say you don't want no problem? You come here with a bunch of people, y'all got beer bottles in your hand, and the dude in front of me, he just like drinking, grilling me right in my face. But I wasn't really paying attention to him too tough, but I was paying attention to him. So, because I was conversating with the guy that got his chain popped. So he comes up, he says he don't want no problem, but and I pointed out, yeah, it is what it is. Like, you guys come in here look like you know what I mean? Like, you want to do me something, you know? So as I pointed to the guy's beer bottle in front of me, and I'm like, yo, look, like, you got your homie here, he's got his beer bottle, and like, you know? As soon as I said that, the man pushed me, and I seen he went to go, you know, wind up to throw the bottle that he was drinking. So I backed up a little and kind of turned to the side. And when he threw the bottle, it hit me on my side right here, and it exploded on impact. And then, like I said, these guys had bottles. He had another beer bottle in his pocket. So after he threw that, he took out another bottle, and I noticed it. And as he took it out, for some, like, it was weird because I don't even walk with weapons like that, you know. It was just so happened, like, it just so happened I had a knife with me that day. It was in my back pocket. So as I seen him approaching me with a beer bottle, it looked like he was gonna come hit me over the head with it. I pulled out my knife and I ducked as he tried to hit me over the head. And then as I ducked, I swung my knife, and the knife went in his heart. So I stabbed him in his heart. And so I found out later on at court. And after he got stabbed, he kind of staggered off. I didn't even know I hit him, but when he started staggering off, I was like, oh, whoa, man got it. You know? And I remember I had my conveyance, my car parked across the street at the park over there. So I hopped the fence, hopped in my whip, and drove up to Palmer Court where I live. You know? Yeah. I got arrested like 2 weeks after that on August 27th. You know? I spent 8 years incarcerated, and I won my appeal in 2010. And I got out in April 23rd, 2010. As soon as I got out, I started volunteering. I volunteered with Bright Future Alliance, a nonprofit organization. I was a program coordinator. We had a program called Cooking for a Change. And then shortly after that, I was also with another nonprofit called RRS, Redemption Reintegration Services. I was actually a board member with them too. And I was a program facilitator with them. Got to go to the group homes and talk to the youths. Then it was really cool. It was really cool. I really enjoyed that one, reaching out to the young ones. I mean, I do have a lot of lessons, that I could part with them. So that made it that much enjoyable. A few months after I got out, I met a woman who overstood the journey I've been through. And a couple of years later, we started a family. We have 2 boys now. And I became civically active as far as my indigenous rights as a Moorish American. Myself and my daughter are doing well, We're making up for lost time. She was my lighthouse in those dark days, so she'll always hold a special place in my heart. Yeah, I take a lot of pride in my family. I overcame big odds to be with them here today. The system thrives on broken homes, and if you can't see that as an individual, you're a lost person. These days, it's only family that I keep around me. I mean, I don't have friends. I don't call these people that you might see around me that are close to me as friends. It's strictly family, I've always knew this to be true as a child, that everything you got to deal with is mental on this realm. Meaning it does not matter what obstacle you face, but how you endure it, I guard my mind like Fort Knox. You can see with the media, there's always stuff they're trying to push or promote at you. So,
You're gonna jump. Let's jump.
We live in the Truman Show era right now. If you can't see what's going on, so mentally you have to be strong and see past the nonsense. Like, I question a lot of the stuff that is being shown out there. Like, I just don't take it for what it is. As far as media goes, most of the time they just want you to be emotionally disturbed by what they show you, and that's the key, is not to get emotionally involved in these things that they're pushing, the agendas that they're pushing towards you. We must evolve on Earth if we want to get it right. We as a people have been taught to defer, to look outside of ourselves for the solution. And Michael Jackson said it best. Like, if you want to invoke change, it's up to the person in the mirror. No de facto government is going to save us, and there's no invincible man in the sky. that's going to come down and save us. Justice is ours, but it's only to a matriarchal state of mind. Nothing should come before the women and children, but for far too long we went against that. And that's why we continue to suffer till this day. Because there's no justice, it's just us.